Tom DeLonge. You might know him as the former guitar player of the band Blink-182. Tom DeLonge knows something.
You don't know what I know.
You don't know what Tom DeLonge knows.
Well, what do you know, though, that they don't know?
I can't tell you.
And Tom DeLonge can't tell you what you don't know that he knows.
That's the shit I can't tell you.
But rest assured, if you have $200 or more and you're not a damn dirty Canadian, you can invest in Tom DeLonge's company to take the things that you don't know that he knows and turn them into amazing alien technologies brought to reality. So if you're a fan of the Joe Rogan Experience like I am, you may have seen the most recent episode and had it become perfectly clear that either Tom DeLonge is completely out of his fucking mind.
Watch it. This is the craft, by the way.
A scammer of some sort, or perhaps he really has come into contact with various levels of the government who have shared secrets with him, the former guitarist of the band Blink-182. Through the podcast, we can draw a timeline of Tom's experiences. He starts off as a junior high school kid in a school library forced to read anything to spend the time. He winds up gravitating towards a book on UFOs, which begins a lifelong obsession. Now, something he speaks about that I know is absolutely true from experience is that there's just a lot of downtime on tour. Nowadays, you go on tour and it's hours and hours and hours of dicking around your smartphone, but in Tom's day, when he was spending most of his time on the road, you didn't have that shit. So what did Tom do in those long hours in the van, in the bus, with nothing to do?
Oh, it's just 25 years of reading shit and watching videos and studying physics and studying.
He read about aliens. He read every single thing that he can get his hands in about aliens, and somehow, in those 20-some-odd years of reading on this topic, he managed to piece together pieces that nobody else managed to piece together.
Because I've studied it for so long, and I happen to put some pieces together that most people don't put together.
Realizing that he's the chosen one who's managed to piece together all the secrets of aliens that were hiding in plain sight, he decides to write a book called Sekret Machines. He realizes that the secrets inside this book are so explosive that before releasing it, he has to get permission from various people who might otherwise get him in trouble.
I knew I needed to ask permission.
These people are blown away by the things that Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 has pieced together, and he winds up getting contacted by someone who tells him to meet him outside the Pentagon.
I got a email out of nowhere that says meet us next to the Pentagon at this day and time, and I did that.
You just flew to the Pentagon?
I flew out to Pentagon City, yeah.
Now these things that he's pieced together in his book, he repeatedly tells Joe that he cannot tell him.
I don't want to get into that, but I'm not going to really get into that here. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff. I can't say who they were, but...
Yet somehow, despite not being allowed to tell these things, you can still read about it in his book, which is readily available on Amazon.com. I'll put the link in the description.
Read the book, the book, and that was in my book. In my book...
But you know, like sometimes when people are nervous, they're on the spot, they misspeak, they contradict themselves when they really didn't mean to contradict themselves. However, I did find one thing in Tom's story that does seem to be majorly contradictory in a way that you wouldn't mess up. So in the process of interacting with these people who've reached out to him from the government, he convinces them that they don't need to be absolutely secret because there's a middle ground between absolute secrecy and telling the public everything.
You struggle with saying disclosure. You want to tell everybody everything, which I don't think everyone should know everything. And then you say they can't handle it, so don't tell them anything, you know? And I'm like, there's a middle road there. And here's the way I would do the middle road. And it resonated with them.
See, he tells us that this is something he convinced them of, but meanwhile, when Joe asks him why it was that these people contacted him to begin with to tell him these secrets, he tells us that the reason is...
service. Like, what can you do for them that they need help with?
And what could you do?
Communication. They don't have a way to make a movie, a book. They don't know how. Don't have a way to make documentaries. They don't have a way to go on a big show like this and communicate with young people. They don't do that.
Now, this service that Tom DeLonge claims to be uniquely positioned to provide, making books and movies and getting that out to the public, why would they contact him for that when they had no intention of releasing anything at all until Tom convinced them to do that? That makes no sense at all. You're putting the chicken before the egg and the horse before the carriage and all that kind of shit. And even looking into it with that amount of depth, I feel like I'm giving him more of the benefit of the doubt than most people have given him, because it seems like the consensus is that he's just completely lost his fucking mind.
At first they thought I was nuts.
And I think that is one of a few possibilities. I mean, not to be an armchair psychologist, but he does seem to be in this kind of weird, delusions of grandeur place that a lot of people with paranoid schizophrenia do experience, but I'm not gonna sit here and try and diagnose him as many people have. But of course, that is a real possibility here. Now, another possibility that people have brought up is that he's just scamming us, and obviously he's trying to get us to buy his book, he's trying to get us to invest in his company, and that might be a thing. That might be that he's trying to just soak people of their money. But honestly, like, watching this interview, I get the impression that everything he's saying, he truly believes in. So I don't think that Tom DeLonge is trying to scam anybody, specifically not his fans. I don't think that's the case here. Another possibility that I've seen brought up that actually might make some sense is that maybe there are people with some kind of connections that kind of saw him with his bright-eyed enthusiasm and saw that, oh, this is a rock star, this is a rich guy, we can attach ourselves to this person and soak him of his money, you know, scam Tom DeLonge. Maybe he is the victim here. And the last possibility, of course, is maybe Tom DeLonge really is onto something, and if his company gets enough money, we're gonna see some crazy alien space inventions brought to life by the guitarist of Blink-182.
I mean, he's deep into the, like, quantum this and that, so
who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? I would love to be wrong about this and see amazing things and go to space with Tom DeLonge. I don't know. If you really want my honest opinion, I think he's kind of lost his mind, and it's kind of sad, but I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. And until next time, you know what to do.